And also from the link that Hanif put up, there's some files, scripts and stupid image for to use because you will need these script data. So if you don't have them, go get them from the Google Drive. Yeah, that's no right there. Let's go through some like almost stuff first, like why you will use Unity. So Unity is actually quite widely used in the industry. There are a number of games. You just Google it. I can't remember what game. Yeah, the main reason why people would use Unity is because it's a cross-platform. The cool thing about this is that when you build a game when you make a game using Unity, you can actually compile it to any platform you want. Well, most of the platforms are available. So you don't need to actually like make the entire game if you want to make it on iOS or Android. Like in the build screen, you can just say build for iOS or build for Android or web game. So you can make it a web game. The other reason why you use Unity is because it's not only for coders, other people can understand it as well. Unlike like Allegro or SDL, where it's just all code. So you can work with other people from other disciplines. And it uses a component-based architecture where everything about an object is comprised of components. So these are examples of components. You just attach the components to the object. And yeah, that's how it works. You will find out more later. And of course, it's going to do all the 2D and 3D physics rendering for you. This is I don't know, I just got this on Google. Apparently, this was running in Firefox. Because they just made a 3D game that they built it. Because at the beginning you can build the web player, right? Then web player is over here. So I built the web player, and oh, look, this game runs in the web. Yeah, and Unity is free. Unless you want to buy Unity Pro, or you want to license games, and there's some cost which is actually pretty high. But to use and develop using Unity, there is a base version which has most of the features in it. It's free. Probably the main reason why most current startups are using it. Yeah, and not only startups, there are some SME companies which are also using Unity. Okay, so let's actually get to the start. My time, oh yeah, I'm on time. That's not bad. Okay, introduction to Unity. Do I even need to go through this? Well, okay, what we're going to do today is we'll make a stupid game. Simple game, not stupid. Pretty stupid. It just move around and collect stuff. It's just to show that you can make a game. And I'll tell you how to expand on it. You can try expanding on your own. And I have a 15-minute break later for you to just mess around and try to do some stuff, I guess. Okay, so let's get started. Let's create a new project. Okay, we are going to use Unity 2D instead of Unity 3D. Unity can do 2D and 3D. It's actually exactly the same thing, almost. Actually, the same, yeah. But we'll do Unity 2D because it's simpler. I'll actually do it here. Where's my Unity? This box is Unity, so I'll open it. Okay, so how to create a new project, right? You click the create a new project button. Then you'll find the folder. So I have a nice folder here. I created it. Call it blah blah game. It doesn't matter. Let me name it to something nicer. Nicer name. So I will call it. This is my game. It just needs to be an empty folder. So I'll just select it. And remember this. That's not the picture of Solid. Change it to 2D. So that we won't get confused later. Actually, if you change it to 3D, nothing will happen. It's just that you may get confused with something else. But not much. It's actually 2D. Yeah, the picture arrow 2D. Then create. Nothing happens. Let's waiting for it. Oh, there it is. Nicer name game.
Don't let us know if you get stuck somewhere. Yeah, so that you guys can get up.
I think you walk around, don't stand there.
Yeah, just find me if you need any help.
What can people find you? You're sitting in the corner. Okay, so my laptop is supposed to be widescreen, so it's supposed to look nicer than this. I don't know why everything is square. Okay, but whatever. So this is the Unity interface. Anybody not here yet? Anybody not here yet? Or and in the no, at least not in this room, at least like not at this on this stage. you can create a project, right? Because if you haven't created a project, okay, never mind, doesn't matter. I'll just continue. Okay. So you should have created the project right now. So I'll just explain to you the layout of the thing using the slides. It's clear enough, right? Yeah, it's clear. Okay, this is what it looks like. This thing over here, this red color part, is the hierarchy. Is when you place a game object inside the scene, it will show up here. So you can actually see the list of all the things. It's just so you can select them, not much. Yeah, it shows everything in the game. Then the bottom here is the project view. It's all your game assets. So if you have an image or whatever, right, it's basically the folder that your project is inside. This is your folder. So if you place anything inside here, right, it will automatically be added to the folder. Like your pictures, your script, your prefabs, whatever you need over here. Then the right side is your inspector, which is like, when you click on an object, right, you would expect to be able to edit its properties. Yeah, so this is for editing properties. So if you click on this, then you can see the properties over here for you to edit, like its position, its speed, or whatever. And finally, the scene view. I didn't edit that originally, someone added it for me. So I thought it was so obvious, but maybe it's not. This is the scene. Everything is the scene. Like if you place your object in the scene, then you can see in the scene. Yeah. Okay, let's get started with the actual doing something. So first thing we should do is to create the player. That's a player. So so what we need for a player, right, is we need you just need an object. We will use a quad for this. Just a quadrilateral. And you attach all these components to it. So how to create a quad? If you go to game object, create other, then quad is over here. Is it? Yeah, it's under game object, create other. Okay, it's big enough to see. You can click it, and you have a quad. You can move it around. So this quad, it does nothing. So you can click play to see what happens when you start the game. See? That's quad. It just sits out there. Yeah. It's actually quite impressive, right? So now you're going to add some stuff to it. First thing is a script that I made. It's a controller script. So if you attach the controller script to it, okay. Oh, now my assets are here. Where are my assets? Yeah, find it. I totally forgot about my assets. Finity workshop. But yeah, go find the assets for the whatever you need. So, never mind. Just create a new folder. New folder. So this should be what you have, right? These are four scripts and PNG image. The PNG image is quite beautiful. I thought I'd do it. You see these scripts, right? They're just code. Yeah. In C#. I coded them. So yeah, just drag all of them into the project first. Just like this, take all of them and drag here. This is your folder, right? So they are all inside your folder now. When you view the folder itself, they are actually there. So yeah. So what you're gonna do, right, is for the player, you attach the controller script to it. So you go to the inspector, see this part over here, you drag here. Drag here. You drag it here, then you have a controller script attached to it. You can see over here. How the inspector works, right, is that you see all these, right? These are all the components that attach to it. There's a transform component, there's a quad component, there's a mesh collider component, the mesh renderer component, and now I just attach the controller script. If you're not sure how to attach, I'll attach again, and I'll attach again, and I'll attach again. You can attach like this also. You can pick that component, and click script. There it's there. Yeah, somehow it's there. Controller. Yeah, I attach for controller. So contact one controller. So what does controller do? Well, you can't do anything yet. So you need to attach two more components. What's the hotkey for your control F5? F5 refresh. Control F5. Oh no, don't refresh for me. Never mind. Okay, so you attach the controller script, and then the other two things you need to attach, right? Wait, components, attach collider, which is a hitbox. I use the box collider. Oh, they don't allow me to attach because I already have a collider. I'll remove this collider. I don't want this collider. I want this collider. Okay, so I attach the box collider. Then I attach rigid body. So what is a collider and what's a rigid body? A collider, right? This collider. A collider allows you to it's a hitbox for you to collide with other things. And a rigid body allows the thing to have physics. So if the object doesn't have a rigid body, it can't move around. If the object doesn't have a collider, it can move around, but it will go through everything. So I want a box collider, a rigid body, and the controller script. Yeah, just look for these three things and attach them to the player. Easy? Wait, I think inside the Hanif just put the slide inside the folder, right?
Yeah.
So I think you should be able to access them. If you want to refer to the slide, you can. I don't know whether I'm going too slow or too fast. I hope I'm not going too fast. There's a controller script, a box collider 2D, and a rigid body 2D. If you attach these three, right, then you click play. You click play. Yeah, control it. Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm too fast. Okay, I show you how to attach the box collider again. Box collider and rigid body, right, they are under component. Rigid 2D. You can see rigid body over here. You can see box collider over here. So you just need to attach both of these. If anybody has the error where they are saying that cannot attach due to conflicting components, that means it's because you have a collider on the thing already. So you should delete that collider first. Yeah, so we have the thing here. And I have the three objects, the three components. You can see that we have controller, box collider, rigid body. I'll just play with some of the stuff here. Example, there's gravity. If I change, I just set it to 0 because I don't want the object to fall down. So when I click play, right, I should be able to move it. Because if I have gravity, let's say I have gravity like 5, and I don't do anything, the box will fall down. Yeah, if you are not really sure what's happening, you can use the mic like I'm doing. I don't have to be the only one talking. Adi, how's it going?
Anyone got stuck?
Anybody is not there yet? If you did it correctly, right, if you click play, you can press up, down, left, right, and the thing will move around. You only need to attach these three components: controller, rigid body, and box collider 2D. And attach the 2D versions, not the non-2D versions, because the non-2D versions will make it 3D physics. If you don't see a 2D at the end, right, that means it's 3D. You see here? Physics 2D. You have physics 2D. So if you attach the wrong thing, to remove it, you right click and remove component. So I want to attach the physics box collider 2D. Box collider 2D. There. Okay. I have no idea. So the next thing I'm gonna do after the player, hopefully your players can move around, is to add walls. So this is what a wall should have. It's another quad, and I then attach the box collider to it. So the reason why it's a wall is because I didn't attach the script. So that means when I press the up, down, left, right keys, it will not move around. And because I didn't attach the rigid body. If you attach the rigid body, if your player collides with the wall will fly away because the wall is affected by physics. But if you don't attach the rigid body, if the player collides with the wall, the player will stop moving, but the wall will not move because the wall doesn't have a rigid body, so there's no physics on it. It just has a collider that blocks people. So you see, right? I'm back to this. I have this player, already he can move around, happy. Now I will obstruct it with a wall. So I create another quad. Quad. It looks exactly the same as the player, but I don't care. So, but I can see the scale. So this scale I'll make it like, the y-axis make it like 15. Oh, no, not x-axis. 15. Then now it's a wall. So off. Then, as a wall, I don't want a mesh collider. I want the box collider 2D. Box collider 2D. Attach the box collider 2D to the wall. So now, if I walk into the wall, I'll get stuck. I can make more walls. You can Ctrl C, Ctrl V in order. Copy here, copy one, copy, copy here.
Whenever you do something like don't play, because play right, when you add something and you stop it, everything will disappear.
Oh, I see.
Remind.
Yeah, should I see it?
Yeah, you should.
Okay. There's one thing about Unity, right? If you want to edit something, don't edit it while you're in play mode. You see this play mode, right? If you click it, you are in play mode. If you pause the game, then you go and edit something. Like example, I just deleted everything I have. Delete. Then, if I unpause the game, everything goes back to normal. Then if I unplay it, because all the changes you make while it is paused, while it's in play mode, will not be saved. They're not actual changes. It's for testing. So for example, right, if you're just playing around, just at the game playing, and now I pause the game, I can actually test the thing to see what happens if I put a wall here. I continue the game. Yeah. But if I stop the game, all the changes will be undone. Yeah. So don't make any changes while it's paused because it's not gonna make a difference. Why are you here? I thought you know yeah, so this is what you should get. That's maybe nicer. That's everything. Everything is black, but that's fine. Wait, does anybody have any problems, or is everybody having problems, or is nobody having problems? Save me, honey. If you have any questions, just ask the mic. I will answer them right away. Just press the button. This is for the player. This is what you can add to the player. Controller, rigid body, box collider. Add to the wall, box collider. I will explain what the player are again. Controller script is a script that I made so that if you attach it to something, when you press the up, down, left, right key, it will move around. That's what the controller script does. Then the rigid body 2D, what it does is, if you attach it to something, it will be affected by 2D physics. So when something wrecks it, it will fly away. That's what rigid body 2D does. So for box collider 2D, it's a hitbox. epoch should be, I guess, self-explanatory. It means that you will actually collide with each other and stop each other and track. Yeah, that's what box collider really does. That's why the ball only has a box collider. See, I can play around a bit. I can give this ball. If I create like another like what? Yeah. Oh shit! I didn't say more. Oh, then I remove this. I attach the rigid body. I attach the box collider. Then now the other quad is just a box, so I can back it. Oh shit! Oh yes. Whoa! 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 Do this with it. That is bad. Whoa! 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 Whoa!
This is kind of fun.
Count how many times you can juggle it.
Oh, by the way, if you are wondering why the thing is spinning so weirdly, right? I mean, spinning so much, you can actually make it not spin by checking fixed angle here. Then now my player will not spin, although that box will still spin. Eh, no, I'm spinning and the box doesn't spin. Yeah, like that. Now I'm spinning. Now the box is spin, and yeah. Yeah. If you, I'm not sure whether you guys are okay right now. Oh right. Why so fast? I'll move it down a bit. Okay. Oh man, my TV was too short. Oh, that means either I'm going too fast or I have two few things to say.
Free. What does free?
Okay, I move the brick down. So how are you guys doing right now? Any like responses? Are you guys able to attach the player? The player, I don't know which one is the player because they're all called squad. I can rename it to player. This is the player. The player orange. The player has to have a controller, a rigid body 2D, and a box collider, so that you can play around with it. And the wall should only have a box collider. Okay, I'll just redo the player part just for fun. So let's say I create another object. If you did catch what I did just now, just watch it. So say create a quad, put it here, then attach the controller to it. Take controller, drag, put here. Take mesh collider, I don't want this. Go to component, delete 2D, delete body 2D. Then you'll be there. Go to component, delete 2D. Box collider 2D. Now I have everything. So now I have two players. So if I play, I have two players. Yay! One spins and the other doesn't. That's what distinguishes them.
You can make models in free game. It's free and open source.
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening right now. So this player, this is camera. I want more space, so I'll move around the thing. If you click on the camera, you can see what the perspective, what the view is. Oh, by the way, Unity is actually in 3D, so if you click this 2D button over here, you will see 3D. Yeah. If you click the 2D button, you will see 3D. It's in 3D. Yeah, more space.
The camera is still 2D or your camera is 3D or this one is like the sun.
3 minutes left for the camera. What the? Interesting.
I have no idea what you guys are doing, so I just saying. Wait, I really don't know. Adi, what's what's going on?
I think it's okay. I think you can go on.
Okay, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah? Okay. I shall go on. Okay, now it's not supposed to be a break anymore. So I'll create a new object called a collectible. This collectible is what I want to do, right? Is just create this collectible so that you can pick it up. So I just created a script that allows you to pick things up. No, allows you to pick it up. So if something has a collectible script, if you touch it, it will be picked up. So if you added the collectible script to the wall, if you touch the wall, you pick up the wall. So yeah. So there's a ready body and a box slider to this.
So just put
Oh yeah, I didn't explain why I put a ready body and box slider. I'll explain why I put a ready body later. The box slider is so that you can actually collide with the collectible and pick it up. I have a bonus objective. You can try adding the runaway script also, it's quite fun. Okay, beautiful stuff. So how do you place a sprite on the screen? You know, previously you go here and create quad, right? To place a sprite, right? You see the sprite over here? This image, drag it onto the screen. There you have a sprite. So this is also another game object, except now it has a sprite renderer. This one has a mesh renderer. That's why it's a mesh. You can actually remove this and replace it with a mesh renderer and become a box. You can remove this and replace it with a. You can remove this and replace it with a sprite renderer and it become a sprite. But that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I want to explain. Anyway, this is a part. Right? I want to add the script or the collectible script so that you can pick it up. So now it has a collectible script. When I collide with it, nothing happens. Just because it doesn't have a hitbox. So I want to add a hitbox. Create other. Where's the hitbox? Oh, that's the. It is 2D box, right? So now it has a hitbox, but I think nothing happens still because it is. Yeah. Okay. Now I have to explain this thing called its trigger. I will come back to this later. There's this thing called its trigger for the box collider settings. See, you see the picture over there, right? I have a box collider 2D. I check this thing called its trigger. So what does its trigger mean? If I check its trigger, it means that the hitbox, right, is not a collision.
battery.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're not recording yet, so it still can't go on.
Let's time now.
It doesn't pick up.
Stop.
Recording? Have you started recording? Okay, no, yes, no, no, yes, okay. So what I did in the script, I went to take a look why, I was wondering why it's not working. So if you look at the script, I actually checked the name of the object you collide with. So what the script does, right, is for the collectible, if something collides with it, if the name of the thing that collided with it is called player, then it will be collected. So in other words, you need to rename this orange juice thingy to player. Oh, that's my player. I call it orange juice. While you weren't looking, I guess. Else you have laughed. So player. So now I should be able to find it. Okay. Since the thing has resumed, I will explain what is trigger again. So if its trigger is off, it will collide with things. If its trigger is on, it will not collide with things. Then what's the point of putting its trigger on? Putting its trigger on is so that the hitbox can be used as a trigger for the script. So this script detects when something comes into the hitbox, and it will respond according to that by making it collected, for example. So its trigger is just only for scripts. But the thing is that when you turn on its trigger, the star will fall through the wall because it doesn't collide anymore. But the thing is that you still want it to collide. So what I do is I put two box colliders. You can see the picture over there. There are two box colliders. One of them has its trigger on, the other one has its trigger off. And Hardy asked me to explain also. You see that little circle over there? There's a circle over there. Yeah, there's a circle over there. If you press that thingy over there, it gives help. Yeah. Yeah. So it helps you.
Explanation.
Yeah, that's the help button. If you explain, it just directs you to the page and tells you what it is. So now you have this over here. I attached another box slider to it. So now I have two box sliders to this. One has this trigger, the other one doesn't have this trigger. If I set the gravity to 5, it will fall down. And it will actually won't hit the floor. And if I touch it, it will get collected. So has anyone experimented with the runaway script yet? So what the runaway script does, right, is they take the runaway script, see this runaway script, and attach it to the star, right? Then the star will run away from it. So if I took the runaway script and I attach it to the wall, and I need to give the wall a rigid body, otherwise it won't move. And then the wall will run away from it. Maybe I should attach it to this. That'll be more fun. Delete the runaway script on the wall. I don't need it. I delete the rigid body on the wall. And this thing. Attach the runaway script to this thing.
How do you collect? How do you make the
Runaway.
collect?
Don't attach the runaway to the script to the player. I'm not really sure what happens.
You edited the code. You edited the code.
Yeah, it's stuck in the corner. I actually added a mode here called smart. Because I was bored, so I decided to make the algorithm a bit smarter. If you check smart, then it will be smarter. See? Now if I go there, look, it goes away. I can change the speed. This is only for fun. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing right now. Oh. I attach a collectible script to this. Now the box is collectible. Okay, I can check it. No, it's not collectible. Oh, I don't have the trigger. I need to attach another box slider to it, and then you turn on the trigger. Yeah. Now it's collectible. Yeah, collected. Okay, never mind. Okay, so now we should have a box and a star. Okay, this star,
Can I collect the star?
you should have.
Another box collected.
I'll just close everything so you can see. It should have a box collider, a rigid body, another box collider, a collectible, and a runaway. The runaway is optional. If you don't want the runaway, you can just disable it by pressing this button. Oh, why are there two box colliders? The first one is to collide with the walls, the other one is the trigger. The other one is just the trigger for the script to work. So I'll just go back to this page. And just let you stare at it for a while while you put it in.
Maybe you call one.
Okay, I know one of the boxes.
Adi, how?
When you turn on that trigger,
If you don't have a mouse, you are screwed. Unity interface somehow doesn't work when you don't have a mouse.
if you turn it on, you can still like collect.
So good luck.
No, so
Because you need the mouse to like move around in the
you
screen
can
view.
use it to trigger your screen.
There's a thing that requires the read the mouse button, I
collect
think.
anything.
Maybe it's only for
Okay,
3D.
so you need one to be able to still collect and also trigger. Anyway, how to make it collectible?
Collectible. Just put collectible.
You put the script in here. You put the script in here.
Yeah. And like box collider is trigger.
Okay, do you name the player?
Yeah.
Yeah, got name the player? No, didn't.
I told him to name
Oh, they are.
By the way, the standard stuff in the top left corner, they are the stuff that were already there. The renderer is the thing that allows you to see it. If you play around and you try to delete the sprite renderer, You just have an invisible star.
Yeah, he's a
But it still has a box collider 2D, so it still has a hitbox. You can still pick it up. It's just invisible.
That's what you mean.
Don't delete transform. I think transform is for its position. If you delete transform, then you have no position, which doesn't make any sense anymore.
Art.
This could make millions. You just need to go to file and build settings and build it as an Android app. Then you put your app store. Well, actually, I think one is easier. You need to name the player for the runaway script to work, and I forgot, I didn't realize that you need to name the player for the collectible script to work as well. So just showing you how to name the player. You can name it there, or you can name it by right clicking and picking meeting. Apparently it's great. What? What?
Put that killer in there so I can think of.
So yeah, so I guess if you're not having problems, you just have a break. About 15 minutes, I guess. It's just and also experimenting time. So if you want to play around, you can try removing some scripts, adding back some scripts, and seeing what happens. It is component based, so you can actually play around by adding random stuff around. Like I did just now. I'm an actual there. Oh, another rigid body that's gravity. You can turn it off. It turns off the gravity. You see there's a gravity setting. Under rigid body there's a gravity. You can turn it off. You can turn it to negative if you want to apply.
I'm not very sure.
If you are interested, you could also look into the scripts. The scripts are programmed in C#. If you don't know anything about C#, if you know about Java, that's good. Because it's the same thing, exactly the same. Almost.
Saturday, there we have a quiz.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you should experiment around if you can. Try adding like run away to the wall or some random block. Or change everything into a star. Or you can just create go to some image editor, draw some like happy face, then you change the player to a happy face. I'll do that.
First powers or
But it's week time. Yeah, it's week time. Oh yeah, it's week time by the way. Until 11 minutes left.
One of the another unit if you don't power thing was actually
So I'll copy too fast and then
normally dies in an hour.
quality. I have no idea what's happening.
If you need to follow it, it's not that fast.
Oh yeah, I was getting that. Thingy.
Program, I turned off my Wi-Fi.
So if I nice name game accept. Oh yeah, sure.
It does not.
Image one, no, image one. Happy pay. Then happy pay to be here. So if I take this and I remove the player's mesh renderer, if I remove the player's squad mesh filter, and I add a component of that's the happy pay renderer. So big. Smaller. 300. That's nice. Now I have a better thing than you all. Okay. I turn on the right. Angular drag. You know what's drag? Drag is friction. Air resistance. Actually not friction, but air resistance. But angular drag is when you're rotating, right? You actually have a angular air resistance. But it's so cute.
Okay, hello. I know I'm very naggy, but because a lot of you just came in after I talked about GameCraft, and also the camera just now didn't record me talking about GameCraft. So I'm going to say this again now. Okay? So GameCraft 2014, we have finalized the prizes for the competition. So the winner will get to win, as in the first place winner will get to win four full licenses of Game Maker Studio Pro, okay, and together with $200 in cash prize. The second place will get $200, and then the third place will get $100. So in total, we have a $500 cash prize pool. Yeah, together with the Game Maker license. The fees, you can see $10 for non-members.
The Game Maker licenses are worth 200 each.
Oh yeah, the Game Maker license are worth $200 each. So for the first place winners, you'll get to stand a chance to win like about $1,000 worth of prizes, which is quite attractive. Very attractive in my opinion.
That's attractive as console.
Thanks. Okay, so now is the break time. So if y'all want to come down and register, y'all can do so now. It's okay that you don't have all your members here. You all don't have to register together. Just need to register your name and make payment. About the forming the teams, right? You just have to register first, and then you can tell us about your teams later on.
When is the latest you register?
The latest for now will be by the end of the next workshop, which is this Wednesday. Yeah, but we may extend it. But better register first before the deadline. Okay. Oh, and another thing that I didn't mention is that all of you who are using Game Maker, y'all will get a temporary free license on that day itself. Yeah, temporary full license. Okay. Okay, so now y'all can come down and make your payment and register and stuff. Okay, thank you.
What do you like?
Okay, your job.
I have more flexibility, and I like to cook. Okay. Back to the slide, I guess. Hello everybody. Shall we return? Oh, there's somebody here. Hi, anonymous manatee. Okay. So now I will introduce a new topic called prefabs. So what's a prefab? I just explain, yeah. So later on, right, because the collectible, you are not going to have only one in the whole scene. You're going to have a lot of them, and you prefer to have them like spawning. So we need some sort of template for the prefab, for the collectibles. We can't just create a collectible and then attach all the components again and do it for all the collectibles. So we have a template. So we'll create this thing called a prefab for the collectibles. Yeah. Yes, you can read this as well if you didn't understand what I just said. Okay. So how to create a prefab? This instruction manual should explain everything. And I don't really need to say everything. I'll just do it once. Or I just do it steady for 10 seconds. Yeah, I'll do it. 10, 9, 8. Okay, so how do you create a prefab? Because you see, right, you want this DDD star to turn into a prefab, so that you can spawn lots of DDD stars. So is a DDD star there? So, okay, never mind. So what you do is you create a blank prefab. Go to component, game object, create other, create a prefab. No prefab. Why can't I find it? Am I sharing it? No. Oh, it's under asset. Oh, shit. Well, yeah, it's here. Under asset. Create prefab. Well, I always forget where the things are. So you can also create it by clicking here, and you can create prefab. So when you create a prefab, you just have this box here, and it says new prefab. And then I call it something. This time the name doesn't matter, so I'll just call it like collectible. So I'll just call this prefab collectible. So now I have a collectible prefab, but obviously it's nothing. If I spawn the prefab, I spawn nothing. So I want to make this star into this prefab. So I take the beautiful star from the hierarchy over here, and I drag it onto collectible. So now I will have this. So now the collectible is the prefab. I can delete this star as a method. So what does the prefab do? So now if I want to spawn more collectibles, all I need to do is drag this out. That's the first purpose. Right. So now I have like 6 collectibles. If I move them around, they will all behave in the same way. Okay. So that's how you make a prefab. Okay, I will go back to the slide so that you can see how you make a prefab if you can. And I will continue talking about prefabs while you figure out how to make a prefab. Yeah. So, yeah, you need to make prefabs because it's not just for copying pasting stuff. It's for scripts. Because you want your script, right? Example, I have this game manager script that spawns collectibles every time I create that. So I will spawn a copy of now it's able to manage the game.
12 minutes only. 12 minutes.
So what this game manager script does, right, is that it spawns prefabs repeatedly. It spawns the collectible repeatedly. But the thing is that how does it know what to spawn? It doesn't know what to spawn. So I actually made a field over here. You see this thing? Prefab collectible. I put it in a script actually. It will spawn this prefab. So I will need to I need to specify what prefab to spawn. So I'll take this collectible prefab and I will drag it inside this prefab collectible. So when I drag it here, if I play it should start spawning stars. Yeah, it does.
Person is cool also what?
Because it's the smart algorithm, so it avoids walls.
Oh yeah, I did password.
Okay, let's go back to the slides again. So this is a empty game object with a game manager script on it, nothing else. And in the game manager, I take we need to know what prefab to spawn. So I drag the collectible inside the game manager. Some of this might seem a bit weird to you because why it's like you don't even know what's happening in the script. It's like just maybe I just adding scripts and then the thing just works. Because actually you have to code the scripts yourself. I coded all the scripts. It's not very long. They are all very simple scripts. This one spawns, it takes the prefab that I assigned and spawns the prefab every 5 seconds.
Oh, you got inches or like, I understand.
You can look at the C# code if you want.
Different body.
If you know anything about coding. If you are computer science or whatever. Or if you are interested. Or if you feel like it. So, by this point, I think everything should be fine. There's nothing much else, I guess. If you take this, oh right, inside the script, right? You see what I did? I just take a small thing into the script. Game manager, with over here. So I have a bunch of stuff that I can So I have serialized view over here. Serialized view is allows me to edit the thing. So I make the spawn cooldown editable. I made the collectible limit editable. I made the collectible editable. I made some other things editable. So because I made them editable inside the script, right? When you go over here, you actually can see them editable. See the spawn cooldown is editable and the spawn collectible limit is editable. So if I make the cooldown like 0.1 seconds, then I will but it's a limit of 10. So I'll make the limit like 1000, like what Jimmy over there did. What are we done? Well, it's not very fast. They're not spawning outside the map. So they're running away. Now they're spawning outside the map. And also my game manager keeps track of the spawn. See when I collect them, the spawn goes up. I can set the bounds of the spawning as well, so it's like it spawns within this rectangle. If I make the bounds like -6, like -6 to 6, then it will be like 4 to -4. I'll spawn inside this little rectangle over here. So I can, yeah, now they're all spawning inside. So what I'm gonna stay around a bit, I guess, again. I'll take a vegetable. I don't know what to what can I do? I guess in the happy face. So now the collectible happy face. But yeah, collectibles in happy faces. You don't know where to play.
How many?
I don't know.
There's something I did with all the scripts. If there's something you didn't do right, my script will actually warn you. You actually can see it in the console. You click console here, right? It'll tell you that there's something was wrong. Like example, right? If you put a game manager, but you didn't. Where's the game manager? Game manager over here. If you didn't assign a collectible, let's say I put a collectible back to start, right? Then if I start, right, the thing to tell you that look, the collectible prefab is not being assigned. So actually, if you have any errors, right, you can try to debug it in this. I wrote out all the possible messages you will get. It's not possible. I mean, yes, yeah, you're pretending to be an audience. Okay, think that's all I wanted to present for my game. But I can go to other stuff because we have time. So I'll put back the thing over here. I think Hadi wants to say a few words as well. Okay, let's go back to the slides. View present.
1994.
So now you'll be able to spawn with that. Okay, that's a small thing about how you build a game. When you build a game, you see right, you go to the build menu, you actually can choose what platform you want. That's the cool thing about Unity. So if I actually went to this right, and I file, build settings, and then I click Android, I could build it for Android, except it wouldn't work because I didn't do any touch control. I only did keyboard controls. So you won't move around, you just stay there stationary. Android will build it to an APK. Web player is also interesting because it becomes an HTML file. Then when you click it, you can play the game. And you can post it on your website. iOS, PHP, then you have like export PHP, PHP, Wii, but then apparently I need to pay money for this. But that's fine, like a web player. I can put some really cool 3D game on the web and say, hey look, I did this. But no, I just Unity. Yeah, then okay, so I think that's about it for the game. I want to go through a bit of scripting if you care about it, but maybe Hadi wants to say something first. Yeah, you want to explain? No, I think he has to explain a bit about how the UI works. Because he has some things he can say that I can't say. And what you want to say? Yeah, I was going to go through a bit of scripting if you have time now. If you don't really care about scripting, right, you can go home. Or you can.
Okay, you just can use it. Okay, cool. Okay, has everyone finished the tutorial and everything? Anyone? The thing you just did. The game. Sorry, my bad. The game. Everyone has story working? Anyone has problems so far? Anything? Okay, come on. Okay, what I'm going to do right is just explain certain tips and tricks you guys might not have noticed or maybe didn't know. Okay, first thing first. If you notice this thing, these are all the games. If you drag and drop to here, right, you actually become a so-called hierarchy. Yeah, so you actually drag and drop. Yeah, still works. Yeah, so let's say this squad is under this player. If you move the whole player, I just mentioned squad. Everything will move under them. Yeah. Okay, one good thing about the scene, right, is that you can use shortcuts to move it. W, E, and R. So W is for transform. Okay, E, rotation. You can rotate within here, if you can see the line. Yeah, because right now it's 2D, so it's actually X and Y. And lastly is R. R is for scaling. You can use this box to scale everything. Or you can use the F6.
I personally prefer the thing in the top right corner.
Yeah.
I like the numbers.
So if you prefer more accurate, you can actually use these values. Okay, these values you can change it using by typing the values basically. Or if you want minute changes, you can see here. Small arrows, so you can drop. Drag. See what? Yeah. Actually, it's right around the screen, so actually you can drag here all the way and right around. Yeah. It's quite good anyway. So, okay, let's say you suddenly realize that it's too big. Okay, right click here. If you notice, you see a few things. Okay, reset position, reset rotation, and reset scale. So it's a shortcut if you want to make it all 0. Reset position to 0. Yeah. Okay, because currently now we're using in 2D, right? Most of stuff you see here is 2D. If you just okay. If you unclick it, suddenly it becomes 3D. Cool. Okay, few things. Okay, you see this thing? This is for X, Y, and Z for 3D. Because right now we in 2D will not be using this thing. But okay, let's say you want to view it from X, right? You'll be like that. Make it won't work. And it still works, but it's just a different view. Yeah. And it's in perspective. Then, because 2D works in orthographic, so can make this box become orthographic. Same as 2D.
What's the benefits of using 3D?
Yeah.
Register for Minecraft.
Okay, next thing I will go through is, okay, this thing.
Why no
is-
window?
Yeah, okay. Just now briefly mentioned that if you pick one of these boxes, right, actually go through the script of what is it, right? So let's say just take one of it, go through here. Yeah, it'll tell you the different properties of that component. If it's a default component by Unity, yeah, then it show you what's got shadow, everything. If you guys interested, yeah, you know what you guys are doing. Yeah.
Like all the members will say,
Then, if you notice, these boxes actually to enable and disable certain things. So you can disable Mandara or even the collider, see what. It doesn't remove completely, it just turn off. Yeah. Then, I think that's about it. Yeah. If you guys